guys, sorry for the late start. I wish this wasn't really becoming a theme, but let's get this going. Let's pop this in for you, and let's get you some tunes, and give me a minute to get some coffee or some kind of caffeine for that. To it. Hey guys, sorry for the late start. Let's get to it. So the biggest thing for me today is just, I think that overall we should have acted better on the news than we did on Micron's news. So let me just make sure I got the right mic, because I had to do something with the camera. Yep, we're good. Yay. But let me show you this so we can get to it here. And if we look at yesterday, we have the drop, right? And you kind of get the bearish pendant there. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'm already late. But I'm just not really crazy about how this is shaping up at all. And, you know, it's just, I get it. It's down and then we're rallying. It's down and then we're rallying. But, you know, some of these movements, they're starting to get a little, in my opinion, exhausted. Now, what we did do yesterday was we came all the way down, got exhausted, and then we worked it all the way back off. And now look at where we are. So it's definitely of interest here, to say the least. That's definitely of interest. And it's certainly something that is, you know, on my radar. Um, Hands down, it's definitely on my radar. Where when I look at something like that, we're already neutral on the hourly, and the reason we bounced is because of where we were. So I would watch very carefully today, especially the larger cap names, and just see how they play out. The Micron's a really good indicator. Micron was really good, and nobody cares. They're selling the name down, and that usually means that we're in for more pain than anything else. But the sense of the market here to me is if you come here and take a look at the ES, like I don't think it gets any clearer what's going on. Like, I mean, it's pretty darn obvious where your issue lies, and I don't think that that's really rocket science, in regards to that. So that's really how I say it, and that's how I would be paying attention to it. And I wouldn't really put it past anything. You can 100% get back down here, and you can 100% go lower than that. So, for me, getting back down to this level, I mean, I almost think it's inevitable. Where he spoke and then where he stopped speaking, and I don't think that's a ridiculous level to get to. Like, I don't think it's crazy to think that you can get down 1.5–2%. Like, it's really not that insane. Whether or not we do it, remains to be seen. But I thought the numbers were good. But when you start getting these kind of, bearish pendants, which is really what this is, just I always find it best to, the first drawdown is always the best, always. And if you measure from the top, it just is. Like, if you're long stocks, there's no way that you didn't get hit yesterday. There's just literally no way. So anyone that's saying that, yeah, they were long and miraculously made it through, lies, sugar-coated lies. But if you look from here down, right, and just go across, you're right at your 50%, and you stopped. So again, I'm not the smartest bulb, so I like my demarcation lines. It's pretty clear what that's telling me. It's telling me that the sellers are still in control. So when I see that, I want to pay attention to it. I can't stress that enough. And hopefully we get through it, and hopefully it lifts and goes back up. It's more fun when it goes up. But I'd be focused on the storied names more than anything else. I think that that's what looks the best. And that's really where my focus would be. If I look at the NQ, I want to go back to this and make sure that I do save that. And so that go there and save that. Yay. If I go into NQ here and look at how that's going, you're very similar, right? And I do think, again, that you can come back down and retest the, where is that? The itchy level. Let me just mark that off and just go FOMC ends. So that's where he ended his little speech right there. Just put that right there. But I do think you can get down there, and I don't think it's that bad, but it's 2.5%. But rule of three would mean that some of these names are going to get cut by, 10% or something. And I don't think it's going to be the small cap names. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be the small cap names. So what do we do now with this, and how do we play this out? Well, a couple things that I think are super important from my perspective, and just, in looking at this, I don't really think that there's anything to, from my standpoint, to say or do. I think you just let this thing play out and go from there. What does that mean today? Like, what do you do about that? Well, I shorted yesterday when it cracked. I was very happy with that as far as a hedge, but I was more net long. I don't think that this is really rocket science. I think you guys already probably saw that. So I'm not going to put a lot of time into this, but you have this little area in here that, is clearly an issue. And it's not really a call or a put wall. These do block the blue light, but they also block the screen sometimes. So we're just going to neutral that out so people get what that is. And that's really, that's my concern here, is that people are just like, oh, I'm just going to get back in. Now, what I think is going to be funny about the market, funny how, but what I think is going to be really funny about the market is people are going to look at these other names like OKLO and the like the smaller cap names, and they're going to wonder why they're not cracking. And I think you're rotating. I'll show you something. I've got a treat. I think it's a treat, but it's probably not. And this is probably why I have no social life. But anyway, If you see this right here, right, that's a pendant. The idea, if you break the pendant, you're going to come down to here and then go from there. All right. Got it. Get it good. All right. So this is the one thing that I will say, and I'm going to really get into it tonight. I'm not going to wait till Saturday because I think it's too important. I think it's way too important. Yeah, I think there's definitely something there. Give me 1 second. All right, let's see if there's something here I got to go over with you guys. I'm spending a lot of time on this on purpose because I think it's super important. I also think that if you look at this from the cues, I just don't see much there that's changing. Hold on 1 second. See if any of these levels change, because if any of them changed, yeah, this actually dropped. So that's kind of interesting. I think that's worth bringing up. So your call wall on the NASDAQ actually dropped down to here. You were at 605 and they're walking it down. And they're getting you really, you're really wedged in here, man. You're really wedged in. So I'll show you. So there's your call wall on the NASDAQ. Here's your put wall. Boop, 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 boom. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Right here. And let's make that red. Yay. Is that red? Okay. I mean, they're good, but you can't see through them. You can't see color. Let me just go through this and drop that in. It's a tight range, man. Someone's going to get hurt. You got a lot of resistance at 600, like a lot. A lot more than you had yesterday, that's for sure. So you might be range bound here. You might really be range bound here. All right, let's get to questions on names, and I'll go there. I'll try and get through them as fast as possible. Jedi, I don't think there's a question. It's just a question of when. The thing for Jedi is what I was just talking about this when I did like the private pre-market. I want to show you guys something. I would cycle through and watch how fast these guys are changing their top 10. Like they're doing it. It's not like they're not keeping the same top 10 all the time. It's pretty standard stuff, man. Like here's your, cup. You broke out. You can see the handle right down. Here's your cup. I'm a little teapot, breaks out, flags, goes. Like there's not much to say. This, I would also, if you're interested in that, Bradford, you might want to look at this one too and just compare what's in each one. Jedi is also, just so you know, is a UCITS. I don't know if that bothers you for taxes or not. I'm not a tax expert, just something to look into. Complete rejection right here on Tesla. And I actually shorted it yesterday and did quite well with the short. It's very, very tied right now to the market. Some of these names, they get more tied to the market than previously. Right now, you are super, super, super tied to the market. And you have tons of downside if this thing gets going, like tons of downside if this starts falling apart. I mean, like this could get ugly. Like this could get really ugly. You know, you can easily get to this level right here, like easily get to 370. There's no reason that you can't see that. So yeah, I mean, it depends how bad this gets, but you are highly correlated to the market right now. Sometimes you're more correlated than others. Right now, you're correlated. So it really boils down to what you're looking for. Can you reverse and go higher? Yeah, of course, you always can. But out of all the names out there right now that I see, yeah, it's definitely a big issue. And I think the 420 level is going to be a problem. But you know, for you to get down to here is like nothing. So I like taking these previous points that are pain points and just seeing what's the haps, like what were those crazy kids doing and what are they thinking now? For you to look at that level and realize that you're out of like the value high, here's your point of control, value low, there's no reason that you can't get down there. And if you look at the average price from where everybody is, for you to get any kind of retest down to that 323, it's not unrealistic for something like that to happen. So yeah, I think you're setting up to come in. You know, you never know, but you got your little pattern there. Did I just smack my lips? So I'd watch, I think 400 is obviously a key level, but you know, let me see something here, dude. Give me 1 second. So, you know, 420, 425, it's going to be hard, but if you get through, like if you break 420, like you're pretty hosed. You know, if you get through 420, you're pretty hosed. The 435, it was like a wall. When you flipped it, that was it. But, you know, the 425, the 450, like you're there. Like they're hedged there, but I don't know, man. Like that would, you know, that's got me kind of twisted there. So I'd watch that today. I think that can get smoked if the market comes in. You know, this is what I was saying about OKLO. I actually think if you look at some of these names, if you were to go out there and say to yourself, like, and I see this, I always look at the RSIs and how it's rolling over, but it's still aligned. As long as you're above 70, it is what it is. I keep waiting for the secondary, me and everybody else, me, everybody else, and everyone's sister, right? And they're not doing a secondary. And you know, every morning you're coming in, they're doing this dumb thing where they're bidding you down like $2, almost daring you to you know, to buy it or to sell it. So I don't know, today's Wednesday, you know, maybe you're not going to get that this week. And I keep going through, I keep looking at it and wondering if that's like, you know, do I just go out there and do some kind of credit spread on it at this point? Because, you know, heck, man, they're just not doing it at all. So, I don't, you know, they're not really in a big hurry here, man, like to do something. I would think that they should have done their secondary already. I would be surprised. Like to me, the real key area for this name is 135. I was shocked how you hit this yesterday. So I did a couple trades at that level, but I was really shocked how you wound up holding that so well, you know, yesterday. Like it was just boom, it was a magnet over and over again. So if I got down to 135, I don't think you're going to break it unless you get news. You know, I think you need some real news. I don't think people understand how much stuff is there. You know, when you look at it, when I started going through it, like there's some stuff. So I mean, they're in there. So, I mean, even like the 135 and then the 130, you know, the 139, 140 area. Yeah, you have some stuff there, but that 135, good Lord. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to go anywhere there. They might actually pin it to 135 on Friday, but I think that might be their goal. But we'll see. You know, we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Tankers scare me. I keep trying to figure out what's going on in Ukraine and the war. We're getting that escalation. I know something got lifted so that they don't have to do the same thing. TNK, STNG. I know they don't, there's something there that they don't have to do now. That's super interesting to me, but whatever. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, man. I really don't know how I feel about that. So I've been avoiding them. I actually think the play is to buy oil that nobody, oh Jesus, don't buy toothpaste. I actually think the play is to buy oil. I really do. I think that the play either way is to buy oil. I think oil prices are going to go higher, either through increased productivity or we're going to have some other issue over there. I was very surprised by the administration's comments yesterday that what he said about Putin, that his relationship really very clearly doesn't mean as much as he thought he did. It's a very candid statement. So obviously he's getting very, very frustrated. I don't like buying dojis that fail. So that's not for me. I think it looks fantastic. I think this looks absolutely fantastic. And you've been pushing and pushing, and they're getting back into the space, the satellite space. We saw this yesterday with the big move in ASTS, and we can see your DTL right here, right there. Say it like he's killing it in this. One of the dudes in the room bought this thing at like $4, kept yelling at me, going, bro, space phones. It's like, whatever, boomer. But you see, like, look at that. I mean, it's beautiful. Beautiful. If I ever did a book, this would probably be in it from just a textbook standpoint. Like, that's perfect. Look at the volume. What did you ask me about? RKLB? It has volume in it, but I don't know. You got that bass, right? It's all about that bass. So we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know why I'm not feeling that. I really should be, but I'm not. And I've been listening to my gut a lot lately, and it's been working. So I think you're due for a pause there. But I've seen these CDNS, and they're all moving on crowd. And, now crowd's going to come down. I'm just going to let it fall apart. I broke that 85 yesterday, and that was disappointing. I actually tried a long trade there, and it didn't work. John, aren't you supposed to tell me it's 8:55? I don't know what you're doing, John. Makes me sad. Yeah, I saw this with the LAC. Well, I don't know why I get it. Everyone gets excited because they want to trade it, but do we really want the government owning companies? Like, it seems like a really bad idea, right? I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad it's just out of the way. Now you can go and take a look at it and get involved with it. This is exactly what you want. I was absolutely shocked that we bought it this day, and I was shocked that it didn't like explode when they came out with that announcement. And I just don't think people are doing, you want to know where the money is, man, start doing research again. Like I'm shocked how little research people are doing. Like, it's just really crazy how little research people do now, like, and what they think like research is. But yeah, I was really surprised that, they're first in line to get these robotic chips from NVIDIA, and nobody seemed to get it. I think it's good that this is over. Do you have terms on that yet? Do we already have the terms of those? That's really important. Let's see. What do we got there? What do you got there, boomers? I don't see anything about that secondary there. Let me go to a better source. I actually think this is what happens to OKLO. I think they're going to come out, issue a secondary, and the stock's going to freaking go up. The way it's acting, files mixed shelf. Oh, they did it this morning. Any terms? None yet. So they filed it this morning. I don't have any terms on it, man. I'd like to have terms on it. My sense in the way that it's acting is that it's not. Let's just watch this dumb thing. Oh, look, another treasury that's going to be different than all the other treasuries. That's not an ETF. My sense of this is that it's going to be so small that you're seeing a panic already. And I went through a couple different sources before I answered this. I don't think they put the terms out yet. And I think that's what's causing the panic. So usually this thing will price lower, but once that's over, you're probably going to get a much bigger move, I think. So you might want to start watching this. I don't think that's going to be the end of the movement. I think it's going to be the beginning of the movement, honestly, because I don't think they're going to get what they think there. This is really super interesting to me because this is the next wave of stuff that I don't think people are really getting. Stay with me 1 second. I just want to see something. See if I can get on this quickly. If I can, then I'll pull it up for you. I didn't load it in one of my systems. Your off exchange short position that's in like the dark pools is about 30% on this name. The percentage it looks like is 14%. But in the dark pool, they're short about 30% of that name. So 2 hours ago, you went from 4 million. Then they made that announcement that you could have borrowed to short. Now they're only at 1 million. That's interesting. There's something there. What's up, Julian? I own it. I'm not doing anything with it. You're going higher. I mean, they're going to put Skynet and everything. Anyone see that New York Times interview? Like, I mean, of all the things to talk about, good Lord. I mean, was it that hard to say I'm pro-humanity? Julian, I'd watch that RR. I don't know if it's today, but I think someone's coming there. I think they're in a position. Hal Burton, they always give me this name. One day I'm just going to buy that name. I see this move. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but every time I buy those on breakouts, I think they're trapped in the smaller names. I think they're more trapped in like the RGTIs, the IRENs. I think they're trapped in this stuff. Yeah. I was thinking they were trapped in this OKLO. There are signs that they are trapped in that when you go and take a look at the there are signs that they are trapped in that. Like if you go and look at that book, like you're getting more and more right now. But if you really got into the short position in this, you know, you're almost 50% of the short is float is there. It's like they're short in the dark pools, way more than you think they are. So yeah, I think that they're absolutely hosed here. And I think they're wrong. Like there was one guy, like you're asking, like, where are they stuck? Someone went out there, and I keep trying to find out if it was a part of a spread or not, but the biggest order in the market that I've seen this week is OKLO call buy out to 27 at 150 for like, big money, like 9 figures. So yeah, I think there's a real issue there. I don't think this is anywhere near done. You might pull back and whack around for a little bit, but I trimmed a lot of it too. I own it from 60, but I was watching this thing, and I think that's why they're not doing the secondary, because they know. I think they're being advised to not do a secondary. Although I think the moment they do the secondary, it's going to go up. And I'm really surprised here that RR is not moving that way. What time is it? All right, I'm going to have to go soon. NBIS bothered me yesterday. I don't like stocks that break out and then form dojis. I don't like uncertainty. I don't like mixed signals. I think that this looks absolutely fantastic. And that's definitely on my radar today. Anytime you get something like this, where you get that new closing high, if you're not paying attention to it, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Because I'm not saying that you can't roll over. Of course you can. But what do you really lose on it by trying it here? By not getting in that, like, what do you lose? It's hardly anything if you're doing a swing trade on it. Like, it's really hardly anything. And you look at the volume. I mean, if you're out there trying to figure out, like, what's the next one that can move, just go find the next one that doesn't have revenues. And go find out, like, how much are they short this one? Half, but half of the other one. I don't know, man. I don't know. The MBIS bothered me, Stan, yesterday. I was long it. I do. I think you're going to have a big pullback in them, but I think they're going higher. Sound had a big sell order yesterday, some big selling in there on the option market. I mean, this is your Netflix killer. People just don't get it yet. All I keep doing here is just moving my stop up, just waiting. That's all I'm doing there. Yeah, they banned it, right? Remember NVIDIA got banned? But now Baba's in a deal with them. This is usually how Baba ends. Everybody buys it because they're like, this is it. It's really going to go. And then they get smashed. But it's been acting great. People are still buying it. And all you have to do is keep watching the A shares. You watch the A shares versus FCX, and you'll start to see it. Like, you see how it's starting to slow down? Always watch the A shares when you're trading this stuff. Always. And that's October 7th when everybody had to get out, right? Everybody was getting in. The market was just rocketing. And then they had their holiday and they shut the market down. So I always look at the A shares. A shares are going flat. And then you look at these names, like, I've been saying this for some time. And then it's out of nowhere. Bam. But just a thought. I don't know why you guys are so excited about Halliburton, but I mean, it's up 50 cents. But you guys are all over it today. Happy Wednesday. Good morning from South Beach. Good morning from Miami. Great show. The ending sucked. You could tell they just tried to pack it all in at the end. They had way more they needed to go over there. Really crappy way to end that show. I agree. I watched it last night. I was annoyed. What's up, Journal? I like it. I like it. I don't like the doji up there, but I like it. I started picking at it the other day. Not a lot, but I'm picking at it. Yeah, I gotta make sure I don't put spoilers out there. But it's worth watching, but internet friends count as friends, do they? I think this stuff's all going to come in a little bit today. It really is going to be dependent on Micron and what Micron does. No. I'm not sure. A lot of these names are moving like that. BBAI, a congressman bought it, and then they got this contract, right? Well, from Miami. I might be up there. I might be up in your neck in the woods in October. I don't know what happened there. Is it all of them? I don't know what happened there. FCCO is up 5. FCX is down 3. I'm not really sure what happened there. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Seems important, though. What's I don't understand this. All right, let me get this going here. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to jump. Trade to win. I got to figure this out. I gotta go because we're getting close to the open. I'll see you guys.